Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Knives or Words. All right, today we'll be going in a very unconventional direction. I usually don't do this, but this weighs heavy on my mind, and I decided to say something about it after a critical deep dive into the situation. And of course, I am talking about Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers that were recently arrested in Florida, Miami, a national event as we continue on the video. All right, do like, share, and subscribe, and let's begin. All right, my people. Uh, the popularly known influencer, misogynist, most hated man, most popular man. For me, I think his reign was how I perceive it anyway. Was he moved through a lot of phases in life quite quickly, and there's no other person than Andrew Tate, and the whole world is talking about Andrew Tate. Concerning a second arrest in America, Miami precisely, on July 18th. Okay, and he has been charged uh, with 59 crimes, and it includes rape, human trafficking, and sexual offenses. Okay, and a lot is going on. So I stumbled on this video. Apparently, he made this video with Jack Neel on YouTube around May. All right, predicting what just happened in July. All right, and he categorized that he only has 3 lives in this his predicament, and that first they try to shut you up, secondly they try to jail you, thirdly they try to kill you or they kill you. And he is of the opinion that he's on the third life right now, and he's probably going to get killed. And before I even got to that part of the video, I was already very weary that that would be the outcome. The reason is because of the pattern of his problems. Okay, so let's get to what he said on the video with Jack Neel. So on the video with Jack Neel, he simply narrated how the whole thing began to the very end. So of course, I'm not going to bore you with playing the video or the entire narration, but I'll give you the points that were made. Okay, so according to him, he started a school where he prioritized educating young men on how to make money, and telling them how the school system is rigged against them, how they can make money, how they can be more of men. And according to him, this was becoming very successful, and in a month he makes millions of dollars, and in a space of 5 to 6 months he was becoming a billionaire. All right, but him personally, liquid wise, he was earning hundreds of millions of dollars, okay, every month. All right. So, uh, the money came, and then he said a sponsorship was offered, all right, by an NGO. And at that point, he didn't feel the money to be necessary because they offered him $50 million and he already had enough, more than that at that point. And so he was like, well, go do one. I don't need that kind of money. And he said something that when they offered him the money and he turned it down, they said two things to him. The one, they have a PR that he can use. And he said he does not need a PR. Why would he need a PR? They also told him that they have solid legal outfits, that can help him if he gets into trouble. So I was like, trouble for what? He doesn't need their lawyers. And so they were making the money. And of course, his usual lifestyle remained. The girls, the Bugattis, the cars, the houses. And girls were in their houses in numbers that he was sleeping with. They were just having fun as young guys. They were just living their lives according to him. All right. So, and they were in Romania, okay, doing this at the time. So they were staying in Romania. So a girl came in. All right. So according to him, this was his brother's girlfriend that he kind of knew back when. And he has only said hi to this girl twice in his life. And the girl came in, spent some days, and the girl left. Nobody knew anything about this girl. Nothing fishy when she came around. She just came to have fun with the guys, just like every other girl. And she went about her way. And nobody remembered her or nobody cared. So, the first raid came, I think, a few weeks after this girl visited them, maybe 3 weeks after. The first raid came and they were accused of human trafficking. And he thought this must be a mistake. They went to, I don't know, the decor or something, a place where, they kind of tried to iron out the whole thing. But during the raid, his things were stolen or taken from him. And so, they told them, you can go. This must be a mistake. The girl must be pissed. You probably didn't buy a bag. And they laughed about it. And I said, this must be a mistake somewhere. And they left, went back to their house. But he said his paranoia started. And I was like, but they built a case against him. But, while he was talking, he was talking about him and his brother. So, like, they built a case against them. And after a few weeks, he called his lawyer and was like, why do they still have a case against me? And, the lawyer was like, well, I don't know, because the case was rubbish from the very beginning. So I don't know why they have a case. But don't worry about it. It probably takes them time to go through the CCTV camera and whatnot, and they're probably busy doing something else, and so they're taking their time with a useless case anyway, so it's not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. And so he got paranoid. He started getting paranoid, and then he started talking to his brother, and his brother was saying, screw them, they're just mad. We've made it. We are rich. We have the girls. We have the cars. We have the money. Don't worry about it. And he said to his brother, I was like, I'm still not feeling comfortable. Okay. How about we go to Dubai? Okay. And the brother was like, all right, but you don't have to hide or be scared of anything. But all right, if you want to go to Dubai, all right, let's go to Dubai. And so they went to Dubai. They were living their lives, and you know everything was good and dandy for some time. And so they just felt, well, this case is the trail has gone cold. All right, so no biggies. Okay, so let's calm down. And so, he said to his brother, you're probably right. Let's calm down. Let's move on. Okay. So they went shopping, I think in the UK, according to him. And after shopping, Tristan was like, he wants to reshuffle his luggage, so he wants to quickly run to Romania and, shuffle his luggage, and then they can go back to Dubai. So they went to Romania, and at night, so their flight was the following day. Okay, maybe 3 a.m., 2 a.m., I can't remember, like 6 p.m., I can't remember now precisely. But at night, they got raided again, and it was for the same human trafficking. And I couldn't believe his ears. And he said he got pissed, and it was like, that's unbelievable. But when they got him, the first thing they asked him was, what was his Bugatti? And they got dragged to the station there. That particular raid was all over social media. That was the first arrest, and they got uh they got arrested. And while they were talking and talking and talking, they said they will be held without bail. So they were in confinement. The case was dragging. They were just in that jail for 4 months, in short. And he was losing his mind, according to him, and a lot of things were happening, a lot of things were going on. And somehow, miraculously, there was a particular judge that sat on their case and said the case was not substantial, there was no evidence, no backing, and that they made that the prosecutors, the Justice Department or the Judiciary Department of Romania made a couple of mistakes while gathering those evidences against them, and so she would give room for those mistakes to be revisited or amended, worked on. And while that is happening, the guys should go on house arrest. Okay, so they were on house arrest, but they won't shut up. They started a podcast. They said, what else would they do? They already took their money at this point, took their account. Oh, and before then, okay, during the second raid, I think the first raid, sorry, during the first raid, they deleted all his social media accounts. all his accounts, okay, including the school. Set up, deleted all his social media accounts, Instagram, WhatsApp, name it. It just went blank. He called one of his girlfriend's friends, and that one said, UK has put him on terror watch, terror list, and so he doesn't have anything at this point. So they don't have anything. They don't have the school anymore. He had to restart the school in a way, but according to him, he was not making as much money anymore. So he was on the social media and calling out powers that be, calling out the use of the society against men, this and that. And while they were on house arrest, the British press came again, trying to bait them, and they were able to stand their ground, hold their own. And so the case continued. But something shifted, yeah? Something shifted, and they said there was a third raid. But before then, during the second raid, he claimed that a man came to him in Romania and told him to buy land and told him he needed friends in Romania. But he told the man, he does not need the land, and he does not need friends. He has friends in Romania. He does not need particular friends. But the man told him, there are talks about him around the town, and we need the friends. But he shut it down. That was about it. So they continued with the arrest. But while they continued with the arrest, he said they changed a lot of things about their house in Romania. There were no windows anymore, and they did security doors, the ones used in banks and all that. And so there was a third raid. And the third raid, at this point, he said one of the monsters that came to arrest him said, I've never raided the same place 3 times. And, I was like, no, I think you're good guys, but I think you guys pissed off the wrong person. And they got arrested again. But surprisingly, the judge that sat on the case said, they will continue with the house arrest, and that the case has been thrown out in the Romanian court. Okay, dismissed. He used the word dismissed in the Romanian court. But that, the case built against them have to be corrected, or and so, but this was the point where President Donald Trump was campaigning and was looking like he was going to be winning in America. And so things shifted. They panicked in Romania, and they said one day he was called and they gave them back their passports and that they can leave. And then he thought to himself, although there was already a case being built against him in the UK, okay, for human trafficking and all of this that we mentioned earlier in the introduction. So he could leave, so he decided to go for the sunrise in America. Here we are. According to him, he came to America to sue Girl A. Already, the Romanian government are already having a problem because if they don't have a case against him, they will have to pay him off in terms of paying for damages and everything they've cost him. And that's running into like $1 billion. And that government does not have that kind of money lying around. So there is that. So they don't want to drop the case against him, at the same time, they don't want to hold him, so they had to let him go. So they let him go, and he decided to run and charge the girl that said something, or that started this whole case against him. And quickly he realized that there were a lot of things wrong or hidden. And the girl, in the first place, was sponsored to come to his house. An amount of $30,000 was funded. I mean, she was funded by a particular NGO to come to his house in Romania. And they are the ones. This girl now, according to him, has 11 lawyers on this case that he has built against her now. And these lawyers have been funded by the same NGO. And a lot of funding has been done by the same NGO. And he has these evidences, and he's building a case against the girl. And he said in recent times, now around that May, that they have started calling him again to offer him the same 50 million he rejected the first time. And he has rejected it again. And he is thinking that this time around, they don't have any other choice, because they can't let him win. And they might not have any other choice than to end his life. So that is the part I'm going to be playing for you. Part of the video I'm going to be playing for you now. So let's hear him out. Tate, over to you. Sorry. All right. Over to you, Tate.
Who started it as a human trafficker, or kill me. NGO's name is La Strada. La Strada. La Strada paid girl A in advance before she went to Romania. La Strada are paying for her current legal defense. After she accused us, 5 days in Romania, she left Romania and went to the south of France. Her ticket to the south of France and the hotel she stayed in was paid for by La Strada. La Strada is a NGO which is anti-human trafficking. So why are they paying people in advance and sending them to make human trafficking accusations? Because the media doesn't report on what has happened. It softens you up for what was going to happen. NGOs don't fix problems that they don't create. All is set up. Who funds La Strada? A bunch of other NGOs. Who funds those NGOs? USAID. The same fucking Soros deep left matrix bullshit as everything else. I'll let someone else do the deep dive on the funding of these fucking corrupt clowns. The point is, they set me up, and now they're about to lose. Imagine the frustration of my enemies. We put him in jail in Romania, he got out. We tried to break his mind, he wouldn't quit. We took his business and his money, he wouldn't quit. We attacked the mothers of his kids, he wouldn't quit. We hit him with an extradition warrant, he managed to escape. We hit him with another Romanian case, he managed to escape that. The whole time we're trying to convince him to kill himself, he won't quit, he won't give up. We've offered him money. We've offered him to give up. We've offered him capitulation. We've offered him to make all of it go away. We've offered him everything. He's still fighting. He won't give up, but it's fine because he's trapped in Romania and he's trapped there, and then he gets sent to England. And then like Julian Assange, he's going to vanish in Belmarsh for 12 years, 15 years, because we all know England is really fair. Julian Assange supposedly someone in 1981 and went to jail in England until he decided to not post on WikiLeaks. And then, so where's that girl here? They let him go now with, okay, well, she never existed. They're going to Julian Assange me. So don't worry about it. He's escaped all these things, and he won't kill himself, and he's so persistent, and his women won't turn on him, and he's fucking resisting us, and he keeps talking on the internet. But you know what? He's trapped in Romania, so we're going to get hold of him. Ah, he's in America. How the fuck did he get to America? Oh, it's okay. We have the corrupt AG of Florida. They open an investigation. He hasn't done anything. There's nothing to fucking find. Doesn't even have a bank account to look at, because we fucking took them all. What are you going to do? Wipes his phone every night. He's paranoid. And now he's about to depose Girl A on television. What moves do we have left, team? Well, we can try and convince him to kill himself again. That's not going to work. We can offer him money again. 48 hours ago, they found out that doesn't. So there's 3 lives. And they've already discussed it. No doubt about it. Because it's a pretty obvious choice. I fly in private jets. I drive fast cars. People don't like me. I'm a misogynist. You know, it might just be some crazy guy. It's always some crazy guy, isn't it?
How much money could they pay you to shut up?
Okay, so I think I should play this part too.
The sanity, Jack. I wasn't worried about getting my mind back. As I felt myself losing grip on the standard version of life which I understood, as I caught myself only sleeping 3 nights a week, as I caught myself becoming more and more prepared to do outlandish and crazy things to prove that I wasn't scared of them, I was like, good. I don't need sleep. I don't need to go back to happy little Andrew. No, I don't need to go back to happy millionaire with his cars. No, I need to be this person so that when they arrest me, I'm like, good, come. So that I get back on my podcast and call them fucking corrupt. Sanity in and of itself is an optimization point that wasn't in my mind. I didn't care about sanity. I didn't see the end of this. I still don't see the end of this. I'm in Beverly Hills in a mansion. Great. I have to survive till December. I don't think, truthfully, in my heart, there's a happy ending. So if I don't think there's a happy ending, what the fuck do I want to be saying? If I'm sane, I'm going to give up. If I'm sane, I take the 50 mil, Jack. If I'm sane, I take their money and forget all this and move on with a nice, happy life. Take the money and go, at least I got paid, doop-de-doo, and go fuck some girls on a boat. That's what a sane man would do. What kind of fucking idiot would escape the jaws of a tiger and go back for his hat? What kind of dumbass would escape these people, and when he's finally free, when he finally breaks out, turn around and walk back with a stick, saying, no, you started this fight. Outnumbered 100 to 1. What kind of sane man does that? This has nothing to do with sanity. I'm 40 years old. I've lived enough. Fuck them. And when this video comes out, after they do whatever they're going to do to me, everyone's going to fucking understand that I made the brave choice. I'm not the guy who always wins, Jack. I'm the guy who will always fucking fight, and I don't quit. Fuck them. Fuck them. They want me to go away. That's what they want. They want me to take the same choice. That's what they want. No. No. They attacked me first. They jumped me, and they beat the fuck out of me, and it was unfair. And now they've stopped, and now I've gotten up, and I should just walk home. And instead, I'm going to try and fight them all again. Everything has started again, and I've analyzed this. You said game theory. I've analyzed this. There's too much on the line for me to win. $1 billion from Romania. At least another billion from the UK. Prime ministers losing their job. The Foreign Office, all the civil service, all their corruption. All of that shit. The NGOs, USA, Lustrada, all their fucking lawyers. All my assets. The Romanians still, even after they gave my passport back, kept all my money. They still have all my money and all my watches, all my stuff, all my gold. They still have my stuff. All of this stuff. If I sue Girl A and my lawsuit is Florida successful, then my school also, the tax on that. Wait till I find out who's behind that and all that blows up again. They still lost control of the narrative. The reason this all started, they haven't fixed. No one believes I'm guilty. I've beaten them. There's so much on the line. They can't let me win. It's like Epstein. You just can't let him breathe. He knows too much. Too much has fucking happened. Too many people are going to burn. He has to die. They knew they'd get caught. And I say get caught. They didn't get caught as individuals, but we know they did it. Everyone knows they did it. They knew we'd know. They had no choice because there was too much on the line. There's too much on the fucking line to let me just depose this girl and win. So what's the alternative? They've tried to lock me up. That ain't working. They tried to delete me. That ain't working. Everyone's got their social media accounts back. But me. Remember, they're like, oh, conservative. Zuck's a conservative now. I'm at the UFC. I'm a conservative. Okay, Zuck, where's my Instagram? National security threat, terrorists. They have one move left. They tried the letters. That ain't going to work. They tried the money 2 days ago. That ain't going to work. They're going to try to kill me. And if they are successful, if they do kill me, all I hope is that this video is watched by as many people as possible so that something happens and changes. Because if you're a man who speaks the truth, your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. You are only allowed to talk the truth if nobody listens to you. If people are listening to you, if you become the most Googled man on the planet and you're saying the right things, they will do everything they fucking can to take you down.
All right, so that's the how we concluded it. So at the end of the day, what the story should, that's what he said. And what the story should be, or could have been, or is, after I went to deep dive, because you have to have a balance, two sides to the story. And like I said earlier, he kind of lived a fast life. Okay. He's the kind of guy that thinks he's very smart. I think he is smart. And he ventured into a lot of things. And it's on social media that he ran a webcam business where he made girls do videos, before the likes of OnlyFans came to be. He made girls do videos and then he takes money from them. He said he has been caught on camera saying he's a pimp, or Candace Owen saying he's a pimp. He has been caught on camera saying, he has to find a way to not let the girls go because they can totally go and make money without him. So it was a situation of maybe taking the girls' passports, whatnot. And I don't know clearly, but I think all this happened in UK, okay, because they have dual citizenship. They were born in America, but they are UK citizens. Okay, so I think all this happened in UK, and the case was built against them on that scenario. Yeah. It's also said that they went, they decided to go to Romania because they can't be extradited from Romania to the UK. So I strongly believe that yes, they were running away from the UK government. They were. And that probably led to why they went to Romania, Dubai. And because their case was dropped in Romania, they probably felt going to America with Trump being the president, they have a place to hide. But it does not make sense to me that they would decide to go to a state that does not necessarily sit right with President Trump politically, or in terms of political belief. So that doesn't make sense to me, except if they really thought they couldn't be extradited. This English is hard. If they actually thought they can't be, extradited back to the UK, or they are strongly convinced that there is no case against them by the UK government. If we critically look at this, why would the UK government let them leave if there was a substantial case against them? Why would they let them leave UK in the first place? To Romania, let's say, if there was a substantial case against them in the first place. Two, why was there a sudden case of human trafficking after they started, or after he started that academy, that men's academy, and started talking? Because according to the story, there was a space of 5 years, right, between their case in the UK and their case in Romania. So if there was a substantial pool of evidence against them, or if there was even any form of trial, because up to date, there still hasn't been any form of trial against them. So if there was a substantial case or evidence against them, then number one, they wouldn't have let them leave. Number two, they would have kept them in Romania. Might not have been to be extradited, but at least to continue their case in Romania. Okay, now, it is known widely that Romania is corrupt. So, and these guys have money. And at least to some extent, maybe they have reach. And somebody helped them out. Or they were able to get out in an illegal way out of Romania. Let's assume. Okay. And instead of going to UK, where they have a case against them, they went to America. Now, I also want to acknowledge the fact that they had girls in their home in Romania. Like, according to him, they were girls. I don't know why a man would. How many of them can you sleep with? Why would you have pools of girls in your house? It does not make sense. Okay? It's when you are saying you have numbers of girls, a huge, substantial amount of girls in your house, and they come over maybe for party or something. But somehow during the raids, those girls are not in your house. Okay. But it does not make any sense because you can only sleep with you at a time. Let's say you probably organize orgies or whatnot and whatnot. But them being in your house for days, weeks, it does not give a vibe of we are just having fun, right? If you have a party and there were girls over at your house, it was a party and that happened. But it was like a lifestyle, right? So, in my own opinion, there's probably an operation or an undercover operation where probably is into the pimping thing while using the men's academy as a facade over that academy. But according to the case in Romania, none of the girls that were contacted or his baby mamas turned against him. All of them said he treated them well. So even if he's running that business, it sounded consensual from the part of the girls that were involved. Okay, they probably were okay with the deals that he had with him, and he did them well on those deals. And probably what happened in the UK. Okay, now the extradition case being opened now to extradite them from America to the UK. As I was recording this video, I came across a video of a memorandum, being released against Andrew Tate, and now they have girls that said they have a girl that said she got raped, this, that. So now they have witnesses, okay, against Andrew Tate. But while the memorandum was being read out, probably they left out the evidences of these accusations, okay, or allegations. But there was still no substantial evidence, even from the witnesses in the allegation, read out. But according to one of the girls, she was raped, choked, and she was with the webcam business with them. If there's a webcam evidence of this girl, that can actually be a case. Okay. Now, I am not exempting that they probably did this, but I am of the opinion that it was not important until it became important. So it was more like an asshole. I'm not going to use that word, or let me say a shitbag of a guy that understood the system, took advantage of the system, the loopholes on the system, and a system that was corrupt in the first place. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And so on social media, well, let's talk about the social media. Okay, so on social media, the leftists are quickly ready to wrap him with these charges. Yes, he's a shithole of a guy. He rapes, he traffics these women, he rapes them, he pimps them, he uses them on webcam, and as much as that is true or might be true, what he is saying about the system also might be true. This might be two sides of shit bagging. All right. And the weird thing on social media was immediately after the arrest, I only know of one outlet, the PBD podcast, that was in support of Andrew Tate. Every other outlet I saw or that I watched were just quick to crucifying him. Oh, he's done. Oh, he's going to jail now, he's not coming out. Oh, they have been extradited and there's a case against them. Oh, this, that. My thoughts about this. I think Andrew Tate found a loophole in the system. Yes, he lived a fast life. He lived a very rubbish life. Early, he was a kickboxer and then the webcam thing. He was just looking for a fast way to make money, to be the guy. Okay. And he got himself in trouble. So they had things on him. But because he's a smart guy, he's able to cover his tracks. Okay? Probably NDAs, probably settling the girls well. All right? According to him, they said he uses the term lover boy. Okay, so it probably has an effect on girls. All right? And so he played his card right in a legal form where he does not have anything blowing up on his face. Okay. And so the system didn't find a way to catch him. They were unable to catch him. And so when he started the academy, right, it was a loophole where he got richer. And from his past life, or maybe continued life, and he got smarter about it, he has continuously spat on their face. All right, and be like, there's nothing you can do to me. I have my ways. You all just have to let me be. And he continued to disrespect them. Okay? And telling them, you can't stop me from making money. And you can't hold me to anything. I am that headache you cannot deal with. And for a man that is just considered a man by the elites, the deep state, you see, the deep state, they don't like that. They don't like to be spat on. They don't like to be disrespected. They like to be worshipped. They like to be avoided, feared. Okay? So what Tate is doing, where they don't have anything on him to say, to curb him, is a problem for them. And they had to do something about it. And they tried the old threatening tactics. Okay? We make you run. We threaten you where you have run to let you know we have eyes everywhere and we can reach everywhere. And it's still what they're doing to him, even till now. If he's been successfully extradited to, so I think it got really dangerous for him wanting to out the system now. They were okay with him running and him being smart about his moves and everything. But I think him going after the girl to dispose the girl in America is going to blow up a lot of things, and that is the height of the disrespect they can take from this man. Do you understand? Like, they are not going to let him, just call them out. Who is he to do that? And that is why I believe that for Andrew Tate's sake, for his sake, I hope they have a case against him. Because they're not going to let, just like I said, they're not going to let him depose the girl. There's too much at stake. There is just too much at stake. The corruption is going to be everywhere. With evidences, like he's saying, the funding and everything. Even if he's not up to that, Tate has a way of speaking and is going to amplify and make everything look like they were really rolling in the dirt against him. They can't have that. So for his own good, I hope they have witnesses and evidences against him. If they don't, the truth of the matter is that they will kill him. They will. Because too many industries are involved in this. The judiciary system is involved in this. The educational industry is involved in it. Let's not forget that Trump had a major fight cutting the US aid against the educational system immediately he came into office. Let's not forget that. So even the educational system is a battle that Trump himself tried to fight. And it went under the radar quite quickly. Quite quickly. Okay, so even Trump, that is the president, can't even fight it. How much more a social media influencer? Or talk less of a social media influencer in this scenario. So he picked a battle that was very big, but I don't think he knew how big the system that was against him was for a while. It is not just the UK system. I don't think it's a situation of UK in this scenario. I think it spans across countries, nations. Okay, where it is easy for those leaders to agree that yes, come on, this boy is a little bit too much. They're not just fighting a country. I don't think he thought his fight was with the UK government. But I think the ripple effect of what his evidences might uncover would affect nations. And he is too small in the pool of people that are against the deep state to do that. And I don't believe he did it for, the good of humanity. Probably a part of it was for the good of humanity. But I think majority of it was about bravado. Okay? Egotistic behavior of I get away with things. I'm smart. Okay? And if he has been able to evade the justice system till now, he really is a smart guy. You can't take that from him. He really is. And he has been able to make money regardless. That says a lot about his intelligence. But he did not see the big picture quite early enough. And even now, I don't think, because he's painting the picture of how they took, what's this guy's name? The one that was shot publicly while speaking on political issues recently. I can't remember his name. So he's seeing that picture like that's how they might take him out. But there was no cold trail before this arrest. Okay, I mean there was the arrest did not. They made a public spectacle of this arrest in America. So I don't think they are going to take him out because he's within their custody. Okay, I don't think they are going to take him out the way he thinks they are going to take him out. And what I'm about to say is pure conspiracy and speculation. But I feel it so strong in my mind that they are probably going to clone Andrew Tate, or at least MK Ultra the fuck out of his mind, or that of Tristan. And so, if that is what they end up doing, there will be signs. There will be signs of physical appearance when they eventually let the public see them. Because immediately he was arrested, he said something that caught my attention. So he was arrested on the 18th of July, yeah? And he tweeted. So, following his arrest by U.S. Marshal outside Miami on July 18th, 2026, Andrew Tate official account at Cobra Tate posted a message detailing his detention status in the special housing unit at the Federal Detention Center in Miami. So he said, I am being held in SHU, the highest level of security which exists. No commissary, no visits, no contact with the outside world. My neighbor is a cannibal who screams throughout the night. So it's like, while the post claims no contact with the outside world, the account continues to post and retweet via proxies and representatives. Okay, so I think, right, it probably, because the video that was shown, it was giving his phone to someone. Okay, so somebody is probably tweeting, because I don't think it's going to be in an SHU. Well, it might be an housing system, but I don't think they are going to give him his phone, given who he is as a person. So probably somebody is tweeting on his behalf, right? But the details of the tweet, might just be a form of making the whole thing dramatic. If somebody else is tweeting on his behalf, that is. So what then is there? So I think we cannot. I don't. In my own opinion, I think we want to get the original Tate brothers back when they get back. And two things might happen. They might end up facing trials, criticized and whatnot. But I don't think a government will waste its time if it does not have evidence, waste its time to prosecute a cloned guy, after doing away with him or his mind. Okay. So I think if they have a substantial evidence, they are just going to take them to jail. Okay. If they don't have a substantial evidence, we might have a different Andrew Tate with the same message for men, but a different intention. So the longer view of what Andrew Tate has been saying to men will change over time. Okay, it will start off as, oh, Andrew Tate is back, he's free now, he was able to beat the system. They will find a way to not make the system look bad. Probably say they did some time and hold them on flimsy charges, just like Diddy. They are in jail for some months, a year, and then they come out, and somehow when they come out, they are freer to talk. They are not being held to talk. They say, oh, they were charged with this, but there was no evidence, and so they only did time for some things. Okay, so and then they end up talking, and they're these big influencers, and they're famous, and people listen to them because it now looks as if they beat the system through their case. That is the movie that this world has been playing for a while in our faces. My advice to the blue and the red minds: not everything is black and white. Relax. Because the path this man took, though yes, is accountable for his choices, his decisions, but it didn't stem out of nothing. It did not come out of nothing. It didn't come out of nowhere. He is not the first to traffic women. He is not the last. Okay? As a matter of fact, it is going on. It is a huge business in the world. It is a system adopted or allowed across nations. As long as you are able to play within the rule book. Once you don't play within the rule book, it is now used against you. Okay? So, it's a common saying where I come from. If you are going to dine with the devil, if you are going to be friends with the devil and then dine with him and eat on the same table with him, my G, let your spoon be long. So that it doesn't just grab you by the throat when it gets pissed. Let him be pissed with you from afar. Okay? You don't want to be choked by the devil. All right. So, guys, we need to do more than absorbing everything the media tells us about situations. We need to sit and analyze cases that are brought to the social media before we crucify anyone or anything over anything. If Andrew Tate is guilty and he has outsmarted the system for a very long time, does not mean the system itself is A-okay. All right? Because if you allowed this to happen in a space of 5 years without any case, why start a case when it started in school? So until he started talking about you guys, what he's doing was just a random and normal thing. It's just a guy. He's, in his way in life, and, it's okay as long as he doesn't trespasses. But once he trespassed and began to talk about politicians and politics and how the system that they have built is ridding people of their destinies and their lives, now you're getting too big-headed. Okay, so I hope for his case they have evidences against him. But honestly, if not, like you said, I don't think it ends well, because the stage he has gotten to deposing that girl, it's dangerous for him. It's not something the deep state are going to take lightly. Okay. What else do I have to say? So for him, right, for Andrew Tate himself, I think he didn't see life for what it really is. I think he saw life how he interpreted it. If you want to go against the government or an elite system, you don't go at it as a sole person. Well, if your plan is not to die, if your plan is to enjoy your life, achieve your dreams and enjoy your life, if it is not a mission for you to go against the powers that be, you have to make sure you are not the only enemy going at them. As a matter of number one, make sure you're not the only enemy going at them at a particular point in time. Make sure you're part of the enemy. So even when you are part of, you won't be the first that they want to attack. 2, you have to come at them while they're on their knees. Roll on a catalyst. If you want to surf, you need to wait for a wave. Yeah? That is how life is. If you want to go at something, roll on a catalyst. Okay? It is much easier rolling on a catalyst. If there's something against that system, big, that can make them fall, that exposes them on a larger platform, not just one man, a larger platform, maybe another country is calling them out, maybe a group of politicians or political view or aspect of a community, of a country is calling them out, then you roll on that catalyst. But coming at them while life is good for them, it's dangerous for you. Okay, but I often realize that most people that feel emboldened or brave to take a side or to pick a challenge against an elite system, they often want to go at it alone. You can't, I don't see the success of it going at it alone. It might be a building block where you start it, somebody else finishes it. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. If it is your life's mission, that's fine. But if you have a plan to enjoy your life, have children, have a family, watch them grow, build a legacy, you have to roll on a catalyst. All right. So that's all I'm going to say about Andrew Tate for now. Of course, the case is developing, so as it develops, we'll come and then we'll talk about it. So the reason why I even spoke about it in the first place, I usually don't talk about celebrities or influencers, whatnot, but it's because it has a geopolitical undertone to it. So are they in trouble? I think so. I think their life is on the line, and honestly, I wish them all the best. Okay, so congratulations to Nigerians. We've been able to conduct a successful presidential election without an election, because from all indications, it seems President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has won the election as of now, because he has the backing of the South governors, the entire political system of PDP are backing him. So what's the point of an election, really? Do we need an election at this point? And then on top of that, we are having the US government pen letter to President Tinubu for his good work fighting insecurity. So the lobbyists have gotten to the US government in favor of President Tinubu. Peter Obi put in a call to President Trump in recent times, giving all vibes of desperation. So at this point, as of now, what we have is that it's like it is done. If Tinubu wins the government again, or if Tinubu wins the election again, what does this mean for us as Nigerians? Let's be sincere. Right now, it does not look as if he really cares about softening the economic hardship for the citizens. It's really hard for the Nigerian citizens. Even the average Joes that have substantial salary, to cater for their needs, just have about enough. And now in recent times, we're talking about the petroleum hike again. And a second term for President Tinubu, I don't think it's going to be any easier, really, because this first term, what I see him been successfully doing is building a system that does not give Nigerians any room to escape paying the government. Usually, you earn what you earn, you take care of your needs. But now it's like you earn and then you hold government part of that money. You are going to be paying the government one way or the other. So I don't think there's a situation where any Nigerian is going to be able to boycott tax payment. It's looking harder to boycott tax payment. If you are not paying tax from your salary, you'll be paying VAT a lot, because the goods and the services are not getting any cheaper. And the more tax that they put on these services, these goods, the more it reflects back on the VAT you pay on those goods and services. So even if you say you are not going to the supermarket to do grocery shopping, the market woman is paying more for that space that she's selling from, and it's going to reflect on how much you are paying for that vegetable you bought. So it has trickled down, it is trickling down. It's not getting easier for the average Nigerian. Okay, they're paying double the amount for transportation in Lagos before Tinubu came into power. So it's not getting easier, and I think he does not care, because there's no other way for the government to make money. So they are going all hard on Nigerians. His government is going all hard on Nigerians, really. And I don't know why. I really don't know why, but off the top of my head, I think countries that they owe or they're indebted to, be maybe foreign policy or whatnot, are squeezing at them hard. And they have this standard that, they have to make money, they have to have a particular type of lifestyle, they have to be in charge of some things, they have to be in charge of the contracts and all these things. And so they are taking as much as they can from the people, okay, just to balance this lifestyle and also please their own masters. And it's not getting easier on the daily. The war is taking a toll on nations, and it's trickling down on everybody. So the second thing for Tinubu does, I don't think it's good news, really. All right, that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you very much for the time with me. I hope I was able to do justice to the Andrew Tate's case, or the Tate brothers case. And I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.